Alright, another Chinese kit. This one's rather large. I didn't expect it to be so big. I expected it to be about half of this size. But it comes in a very large bag. Let's take a look inside. We have a wall-wart power supply, AC adapter, whatever you want to call them. 100 volts to 240 volts, so pretty generic. Oh, and 9 volts DC output. Okay, that's interesting. And here is here's the device in another Ziploc bag. Let's see if we can get that open. I hate some Ziploc bags, they're not cooperative. Alright. It is a clock. Like I really need a clock, right? So, it looked like a really nice clock. Looked like an over-designed nice clock. It has lots of displays and lots of stuff to put in. It's got AM, PM, clock, alarm, year, month, date. Instead of month, it's month. Yeah, so pretty interesting. Go put somewhere that won't get scratched for now. Alright, what do we have here? So, more parts of the bezel. And let me get my yellow tray out so I don't lose anything. Alright. That looks good. More bezel material. Some through-hole stuff and a speaker. Some lots of parts here. Here's a little surface mount part. That's kind of cool. Let's go ahead and open it up. Why not? Well, let's wait till we get some more room here. Here's the displays. So they're all 7 segments. Some really big ones. Ah, here we go. Here's the PC board. So, big displays, little displays, LED, individuals. Yeah, lots going on here. Here's the surface mount part on the back. Is that the only surface mount part? I think so. I think everything else is through hole. So, oh, here's a couple surface mount parts. These little guys here. Don't know what they are. Might be capacitors. Alright. And more case parts, lots of case parts, wow. So let's put that over there. Work on this stuff over here. LEDs, let's open this package up here. It's interesting. We have our alarm. I guess that's where that goes. Our alarm speaker. And we have backup battery. Maybe that's where the battery goes. Yeah, that's where the battery goes. Yeah. Okay. And throw-hole parts. Resistors, a diode. Yeah, pretty generic stuff. There's some more diodes. And let's look at this one. Power connector. Here's a regulator, probably a 5-volt regulator. Let me get my magnifying glass out. 7805, yep. Voltage regulator goes up there, I suppose. We got some more switches here. I guess there might be some side pressing switches that's used for. And here's our one and only quote surface mount part. It's a PC board with a chip, gooped chip, what do you call those things? Chip on board with epoxy blob on top. Some more case parts, put those over there. And here's our battery holder and a bunch of generic parts. We've got transistors, we've got capacitors, all kinds of things. So. Ooh, sorry. So, I will try to look online to see if there's assembly instructions for this thing. And we will start putting this together. I love these big LEDs. Let's measure those. They are 1 inch. 1 inch LEDs. And these other guys are ½ inch. ½ inch and 1 inch. I like the 1 inch. I'll be able to tell what time it is. Alright, let me look for instructions. Alright, found some information online here. Here's a parts list with the designations for the parts. So this will be helpful. And then I found just kind of it's $23. So it's not a cheap kit, but not too bad. It's big, that's for sure. And there's some information on how to actually set it when it's up and running. Some pictures of these parts and stuff, but I think really this is all we really need. So we'll start. Let me look at the PC board as well, see if it's marked. It is marked, so the values are on the PC board, so that always makes it easy. So probably just start loading it from the PC board and go from there. All right, so I have the chip on board loaded, and all of the other components. Still need to load the LEDs, and it comes with this little second board, which is all the little push buttons, and they mount very cleverly. That's what I wanted to show you in this video. They mount very cleverly. There's two little tabs sticking out of the PC board, and there's two little slots in this board, and so it kind of clips on there. And then on the bottom there are little solder pads here, and so you can figure out which way this board goes when it's on here. Do the solder tabs line up? And here they go. They're all nicely lined up now. So I will solder down the tabs nice and square, and then I'll go back and I'll solder. Oops, sorry. I will solder this tab here and this tab here, making sure it's square to the board. Then I'll go back and solder these 90-degree pad-to-pad connections, so that will connect this board up. I'm just going to do a quick test here. I don't have the LEDs or anything on yet, but I do have the switches here. If I hit the power button switch here, I do get things lit up, and it's counting, and it's displaying some numbers. So I'm sure I need to set things, but I say that's encouraging. Let me load up all the other LEDs. All right, well, it's together. I'm not very happy. Here's a button here you press. And get it to come on. I was having problems with the there we go. So I plugged it and plugged it back in. So it is running. Let me turn off the room lights. So it does just do something. It looks like there's a column out here. This display won't light, and this display won't light, and the menu system won't let me set them or whatever. It does seem to display the temperature correctly and the day and all that stuff. Can't get this thing to work here. So it didn't work at all when I first plugged it in. The AC adapter that came with it was outputting 0 volts. So I had to open up the AC connector. It was just snapped in place. It wasn't glued, so I could snap it off and go inside. And it looks like the wire that connects one of the AC leads to the PC board was broken or came loose. Probably a cold solder joint. Anyway, soldered that back on, and now the AC adapter works. It does display. It's got some funniness to it. See, if I tilt it up, it turns off. I don't know if that's why it does that. Maybe it has something to do with why these are. Maybe there's something shorter. I don't know. Anyway, it does that. That really bugs me. Took most of the day to put it together. It's pretty. See, now I can't turn it. There we go. Now I can turn it on. I don't know. It's just goofy. Might have been something I did. I'll have to look at all my solder joints. But it didn't work straight away. Two things wrong with it, at least. It might be that one of the transistors that drives this column. I think there's a transistor that drives all these, like a PNP that drives every single column. Might be this one is just soldered funny, or wrong part number, or bad transistor. I'll have to check that out, but it doesn't work out of the box. Rats. It is too big. I guess it's okay. I don't like that it will only display for a certain length of time. So I'm going to go in and see if I can't short something out. I think there's a 1.9 megohm resistor into a 470 microfarad capacitor or something to keep the thing on for some period of time. Maybe if I just short that 1.9 meg resistor out, it'll stay on all the time. So I'm going to try that. Anyway, more work for this thing. I'm just bored with it today, so I'm going to put it away and try it tomorrow. Alright, I did find a schematic for this thing over on Banggood, and it does have a couple interesting things. It's mostly just columns and rows and stuff, but my particular problems have been with this segment and this segment. So it's the second segment of the time and the fourth segment of the year. So the second segment of time is here, and it hooks up to COM2, and the fourth segment of the year is here, and it connects to COM2, and down here is a PNP driver for COM2. So let's take a look at that. So that's where we're going to start our studies, is to see if COM2 is operating. We'll take a look at the voltages here on this resistor to see if the line is toggling, and then we'll look to see if this transistor is toggling or not. So could be that there's a short in this area, or it could be that this transistor is bad. The other interesting thing is here's the power on circuit. You hit the power button and it charges a capacitor, and it runs for a while and turns off, and blah 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 blah. I think I'm just going to remove this PNP transistor and put a jumper across there, and just have it turn on all the time. So that should be an easy fix as well. Okay, so we can sometimes turn the stupid thing on. Sometimes it doesn't want to turn on. I don't know. There we go. Shield it so you can see it here. Then we can look at a particular signal, and over here you can see we're getting something on the oscilloscope. So that's one of the signals that's working correctly, and it then drives the that goes into a resistor that drives the PNP. So you see these negative going pulses is when it turns on the the transistor. Now if we take a look at the particular line that we're interested in, we get this really weird signal. So there's nothing getting to the resistor. So it must be somewhere else, either a bad solder joint on my chip on board type thing, or a broken trace or shorted trace. It doesn't look shorted. Looks like it's kind of floating funny. So let's turn the board over and see if we can't figure out what's going on. Okay, this is the chip on board here, and the signal that goes to COM2 is pin 28. And when I take a look at pin 28, there's no solder connection. So my fault, my bad. So I will jumper that better, and hopefully the thing will work. There we go. That's all it took. Looks like a good jump now. Let's turn the board over. Apply some power. Where'd my power go? Okay. Here we go. Let's turn this off. There we go. We got our two digits. Excellent. It's working again. Let me turn the lights off in the garage. There you go. So this one was not working and this one was not working. So it is now. Should be able to now set the time. Oh, there we go. Now I can set the year correctly. Okay, and it is, let's see, we hit it again, okay, I don't think something is right here. It's not letting me set the date correctly. See, this is the month, this is the date. Oh, I see. We have to go all the way around. I think it's, let's see, what day is it? There we go, I think that's right. 9, let's see, it's actually 11. This says, is that AM or PM? That's AM. 11 AM. 11:55. Oh geez. Oops. Now it's turned off. I hate that auto off feature. We're gonna have to fix that because that drives me crazy. And now it's forgotten what time it is. Ah! Anyway, let me play with it. It's working now. Let me figure out where where that transistor is to leave it on all the time, and come back. All right, we've removed Q12 and put a jumper in, and now when I put in the power cord, it works great. Yay! So. See if I can set the time up, and I'll put it back in the case and be done with this project. So I kind of like the project. It was my fault that one of the lines didn't work, so I take that back. They did have a faulty power wall wart, so that was their bad. But everything else went together pretty well. I like the way the display looks. It is much larger than I anticipated, but that's okay. I kind of wanted a clock that I could just kind of glance up to on the wall. So this kind of sets it up for me. And yeah, let's put it back together. All right, there we go. It's all together. It's working good. It looks very nice. It looks much better than on camera. On camera, the colors get all washed out and they don't look right. These look like a different color than these, but in reality, it's all exactly the same red. So it looks much better in person. All right, so if you're thinking about getting one, it is pretty big. So it's what, 6 inches tall, 6, 7, 8 inches wide. It's got this clear frame on the outside and a dark frame on the inside. Some people may like that, some people may not. Let me show you that. This is actually a clear frame on the outside, so it just looks a bit different though. The temperature I don't think is quite accurate. You could dial that in. There is a place where you calibrate it. Well, it's not calibrated, it's fixed. There's a thermistor that is nominally 10,000 ohms, and there's a 10,000 ohm resistor right next to it that's a 1%er. You could replace that with a potentiometer, and you could fudge the number here, get it dialed in. Originally, I thought there was a couple extra surface mount parts in the back, but they ended up being jumper areas where you put a blob of solder. One of the blobs of solder sets Fahrenheit or centigrade, so you have to add a blob to get to Fahrenheit. And then another one was 24 hours or 12 hours. I like 12 hours, so there's a blob for that as well. So you need to add a blob for the Fahrenheit. You need to add a blob for the AM, PM. And that's it. So, yeah, nice kit.